Okay, guys, what was the best sounding system I heard while I was in Raleigh, North Carolina? Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. While I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, as you've been noticing with my coverage, I attended the Audio Advice live show, and I still got to give you my best of awards there because there were a lot of great things there. However, the best thing I heard was actually not at the show. It was at somebody's home that I visited while I was in the area. And he's a longtime subscriber. He has Pure Audio Project speakers, but the larger ones that I've never seen at the shows yet. And definitely the best Pure Audio Project I've ever heard, period, at somebody's home. And he also has the Bach, some amazing Decware amps. And I think that and he just got a Angela Gilbert Yeung preamp, custom preamp. He ordered that from me, and so I made a special trip to go see him because I've never even seen this piece. I've never heard this piece. It was a custom job that Angela Gilbert Yeung did through me for him. And so I was blown away because on knee-jerk reaction, seeing his room in the past with pictures and then hearing about it and then going, before I turned on the music, you would think this room would be not good. And that's something that I've learned and trying to share with you guys. When you have a room that looks not that great, in fact, my room doesn't look like it should sound that good. And it didn't sound good when I first got back here. But when you put all the treatments, when you use something like the Bach, the in-ear measurements at the listening position and the audibility is off the charts. Dennis's house, which you're going to see in this video, you could not believe that this little office room sounds so good. And quite frankly, Pure Audio Project, like I had mentioned, never at a show have I heard him sound this good. Never at anybody else's home have I heard him sound this good. And I've heard both. So he's got it all working just great in there. And this is a case where looks can be deceiving. If you can't get a dedicated room, a perfect room, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't have reference sound. And you're going to hear both about the system in this video, and then I'm going to give you music clips so you can kind of get a taste as well. But also stay tuned. I got plenty more from Audio Advice Live where, yes, the rooms there were a little compromised. The hotel rooms were very problematic, and then the bleed through in the other rooms. So sound quality wise, that's why this stood out. But there's still some great gear I got to share with you about Audio Advice Live. So stay tuned. Enjoy this video though at Dennis's house.
Okay, guys, my newest friend. Actually, at a longtime WhatsApp group member's home, Dennis, who's been in my subscriber and longtime member, and finally getting a chance to come to his house. We're in Raleigh for the Audio Advice live show. I didn't get a chance last time I was here with Van install Potpourri to come listen to his, and now I'm kicking myself because this was certainly a treat. I'm gonna have music clips in a separate video, but what's amazing about this room is certainly knee-jerk. You think it's a small room. How can this be open baffle so close? And this is something I have to deal with when people come into my room having knee-jerk assumptions, certainly on video until you listen. It is truly incredible what he's able to accomplish here. And I actually was joking with him that Zev needs to come out here and hear how to set up his speakers in a small room like this because he's getting performance. Now, of course, Zev doesn't bring this model, the bigger model, and he probably should start doing it for Pure Audio Project. Great speakers. This one definitely sounds better than any model of Pure Audio Projects I've heard at the shows, but also the setup that he has here and the tools that he's using, as well as room treatments, treating the ceilings, and side reflections. A bookshelf is a great room treatment. This is all things that make a difference. And so when you knee-jerk just look at dimensions or feed dimensions to some, pseudo expert who'll tell you it will work or not work, you really have to take the entire thing as a whole. And also to that end, not only are these speakers really nice, some modifications he's done to it in terms of wiring, point-to-point wiring, and some crossover things with Zev's help. and maybe I'll get Dennis to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I also wanted to showcase his gear. I'm very familiar with a lot of his pieces. He's got a miniDSP SHD, which is a phenomenal piece. I used it as my reference for many years because it'll allow you to cross over your mains to a sub like he's using here and allow it to offload that demand here to here. And if you're not doing that, just using high level, you're missing out on performance aspects, both from the speaker itself, not having to do low bass anymore and less distortion, but also your amps are having to do less work for your mains when you offload it. And this is the Decware. Which model is this?
A Tory Mark IV.
Okay. And Tory Mark V. And this took you how long, how many years to get?
3 years.
3 years, because they're in such high demand, kind of a cult piece in the hobby. But he's also had some Roland Class D monos, the other ones over there. I think these are up on Audio Gone for sale, because one of the things I wanted to showcase for you guys also is he had ordered with me this AGY, Angelo Gilbert Yeung preamp. And this is actually a custom preamp. He had some specific requests with inputs and outputs and certain things. And that's the great thing about dealing with some of these companies I deal with, is that we deal directly with the designer, the owner, and he's able to do these custom pieces and also get the capacitor pack, the SP, this is the SP30, 36 capacitor pack, which allows you to upgrade your preamp, and he can even go further and further down the road. And he was able to get, this took a lot longer due to shipping to get here before this. So he was able to basically have this piece, see the difference it made, and then the capacitor pack. And I'm gonna let him tell you what he thought about it. But this is a beautiful piece. I wanted to see it up hand, close hand. I've got the power conditioner, but yeah, anybody that, AGY sometimes gets grief about his crazy stuff, and silicone, but for exterior standard chassis dealer type stuff, this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so anyway, getting back to the point I was making, one reason why the Rolands are up for sale is that they're high gain, but also AGY believes for signal to noise ratio properties and other things, putting a lot more of the gain in the preamp. So sometimes goes back to the video I released about preamps, whether you need them, don't need them. It's not a one size fits all. You have to understand the pieces that you have. And in this case, big difference in terms of noise floor when he's using the AGY with the Decware. And this is actually dead silent right now. I mean, it is pure silence. A little more noise, though, he was saying, with the Roland. Now, AGY actually make attenuators. If you've got two pieces that have too much gain combined, he's got some attenuators, and actually Dennis ordered that in case he ever has a solid state amp or keeps these amps to do that. But he also got the step-up transformer and the VPI turntable, really nice. And also, what really gets some great performance is the Bach. And it makes this small room, these speakers literally disappear even though you're only like 7 feet away. It's truly incredible that these can disappear in this room, but that's because of the Bach. And he's got the Bach for Mac, and we can showcase bin 1 has the match. So let's go to bin 1. So these were his measurements. This is his crosstalk cancellation, well into double digits all across the band. This helps get rid of things that corrupt the imaging. When you're hearing the opposite speaker in the wrong ear, then you're corrupting your imaging. You may like it. Some people like crosstalk, but trust me, once you get used to not having that, it's a big advantage. But on other metrics like frequency response, he's getting near down flat to 20 hertz. If he had bigger subs from Raleigh, probably get all the way down to 20 hertz. Very clean impulse response. For this type of a small room, windows and all this, he's able to basically hear. This is basically telling you he's hearing his speaker more than his room. He's hearing his gear more than his room. What he paid for in his gear, he's getting the benefit of because he's hearing the impulse and very little afterward. If you have a very poor impulse response at your listening position in ear, remember, these are taken in ear measurements, not 1 foot away. This is showing what you're getting the value of. And these metrics are outstanding. And it translates to actual performance. So I'm going to have music clips in a separate video, but real quick, maybe get a chance to talk to Dennis in particular about the AGY, because that's what something you just put in your system and got to hear the difference of. Maybe give your thoughts and what you think.
So I've had the pieces installed for about a week now, so they really haven't had a chance to fully break in. But the difference that it's made, it's given the sound more density. It's allowed the tonality to be a lot more convincing as real instruments. And even though I did have a wide soundstage before, I find my head still looking beyond left or right of the speakers. And the instrument separation, which I thought I had really good before, it is so much clearer now. Ironically, the bass is even a bit stronger. When I had the initial preamp in, all of those pieces were present. But when I included the SP Cat Pack, which is the largest one that Angela offers, it's 33.6 farads of
incredible
capacitance.
Yeah.
And it simply plugs into the preamp, so it's not even plugged into the wall. There's just one power cord into the power supply, and then the power supply connects to the preamp, and the preamp connects the SP Cat Pack connects to the preamp, and it's completely seamless, tight, quiet. This preamp has the option of being able to mix sound a little bit. Angela offered these two features here, which are two distinct capacitors. One is a paper oil, and the other one is an X2. The X2 gives it a little bit more richness. They call it sort of more tube sounding. I find that it just really kind of extends the harmonics, especially in acoustic music. And the paper oil gives it a little bit more snap. And so for me right now, I have the paper oil off. I think it's actually a little too snappy for some of the music that I listen to, especially at louder levels. So I'm thinking once this breaks in and it kind of mellows out a little bit, I'll probably use that feature more. The way I have the system configured right now, this unit is essentially fixed. So even though I have step-up ladder attenuators for the volume here, I'm actually using the miniDSP as my overall system gain controller so that I can control it from the listening chair.
Yeah, you have a little cool remote control here. Yeah, so convenience is still there. And again, the noise floor is exceptional. We can put it up to, you hear nothing from the drivers. So yeah, it's a super clean piece, separate power supply as you saw. And like I said, these are all pieces that I'm pretty familiar with, although I'm familiar with AGY. I've never seen his preamp in a system yet. And now, I am a kind of quasi-dealer. You worked with me to get this. I can get this for other people as well, or any of his stock pieces. And now I wanted to hear it to be able to 100% endorse it. It is phenomenal, both looking and sounding. And again, hopefully Zev will see this video because, yeah, you're doing it right with his stuff. I've never heard his speakers sound better. And this is not the easiest room at all, but kudos to you to address everything humanly possible. And a lot of times, if you don't have an ideal room, this level of distance, well, obviously he doesn't even have much room to be farther back, but near field listening, guys, can really give you true envelopment of the sound. Plus, like we saw with the impulse response, you are hearing your gear, what you paid for. You're not hearing the room. You are hearing what's coming out of the speakers. And it doesn't, if you have good speakers, you have the Bach, you're getting rid of crosstalk, you are going to have them disappear and you will basically hear what the mastering engineer intended. So phenomenal system, music clips in a separate video. And thanks, Dennis, for having me out. Should have come out here much sooner. What a treat.